All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome today to our demo day, our Holberton demo day. I would rather call this day our Holberton Talent Showcase. Today we're celebrating our Cohort 17. It's the 17th group that has completed the Holberton program. We are so excited. We're so happy for you guys. You have really proven that you have the grit and the capacity to do this. And we really do wish you the best of luck in your professional future. However, before you jump into the job hunt with me and into that process, we will have this demo day. And we're super happy to have companies from all around the world, to join us and also judge your capacity, judge your presentations, and take a look at your demos. So today, I would love to introduce our panelists. I'm gonna give a quick run through all the companies that are with us. And right after each of the names, they're going to present themselves. So Pablo Alifano, welcome from Talan, from Spain. Pablo, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Juancho, and I'm very glad to be in this event today. I'm Pablo Alifano, originally from Argentina, and currently working as Chief Executive Officer of Talan in Spain, which is a technology company, and we work with large clients in the technologies that are actually now at the moment. Thank you, Juancho.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pablo, also for correcting my my accent. And now we have Daniel Mendonza, also director at the Talent Center for Excellence, also calling us from Spain. Thank you, Daniel. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
No worries. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Looking forward to see the great job that you guys were doing for the last months. I'm the director of the Delivery Center of Talent here in Malaga, where we are serving clients in digital transformation, software development across Europe. And I'm here to support, and I wish you guys good luck to the presentation today. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Pablo. Definitely a global experience from Brazil and from Argentina, but joining from Spain. Now we go back to Colombia with Flor. Flor is in charge of the Centro de Selección at Da Vivienda. Da Vivienda is part of Grupo Bolívar. Flor, welcome to this space. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hola a todos, mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Flor Castillo. Yo soy consultora de selección para el Grupo Bolívar. El Grupo Bolívar es un grupo muy grande en Colombia y en el Grupo Bolívar está Da Vivienda, Fiduciaria y varias empresas. Nosotros hacemos procesos de selección para diferentes empresas, desarrolladores, diferentes perfiles y hemos trabajado con ustedes en proyectos que hemos tenido de semilleros y para otros cargos.
Wonderful. Thank you, Flor. Indeed, they have already a bunch of Holberton talent in their lines. So thanks for that, Flor. This is indeed a bilingual space, so the companies can join in English or Spanish. The presentations will be held in English. Moving on, we have Cristian Segovia and Jairo Negrete from Kushki, Jefe de Ingeniería. Both are Jefes de Ingeniería at Kushki. And Kushki is the first Ecuadorian unicorn. Super exciting company in the fintech area. Jairo, Cristian, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Muchas gracias, Juancho. Bueno, mi nombre es Cristian Segovia. Es un verdadero placer estar aquí presente y representar a Kushki, como bien dices tú, el primer unicornio ecuatoriano. Ha sido un largo camino y nada, pues esperamos que nuestro conocimiento y nuestras experiencias sirvan para estos futuros jóvenes que están empezando y están pues prestos para la carrera la más difícil de todas en la actualidad, que es el desarrollo. Entonces, listo, chicos, que esto es una cosa bonita, pero van a sufrir. Eso no les va a quitar nadie. Muchas gracias por la invitación.
Bueno, mi turno, mi nombre es Jairo Negrete. Como nos introdujo Juancho, estamos jugando el rol de jefes de ingeniería en Kushki. Encantado de estar acá, de esta oportunidad interesante de conocer todo el talento que hay en la región. Y estamos con la seguridad de que es un talento increíble y poder ver la capacidad que pueden entregar ahora. Muchas gracias.
Thank you both, and happy to hear that you won't be easy on our holbies. And last but not least, Alan, joining from Colombia, but originally from England, founder of Alan Solutions. Welcome, Alan.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yep, so my name is Chris Allen. I am the CEO at Allen Solutions, a web development company based in Colombia, Medellin. Although we are a 100% remote company. We work largely with companies in the electric vehicle industry. Technology-wise, we're very JavaScript based, obviously on the front, but also on the back end with a big focus on Node. Always interested in kind of seeing new talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people have to show us today. And good luck, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris, and apologies for my mistake. Chris Allen joining us.
It's a common mistake. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thanks for understanding. All right, let's get started then. We have our first group from Bogota. The name of the group is Bubble Solutions, and Edwin Gaviria will be presenting. Edwin, welcome. Please be our guest. The floor is yours.
Okay, good morning to everyone. So could you confirm me if you can listen properly?
Sound is clear, image is clear. Let's get started.
Great. So I'm just going to start sharing. Okay, good morning. We are Babel Solutions, and we are presenting on behalf of Freedom Center our custom project named Hardware Status Monitor. So you may be wondering how it all started. So it basically started by us asking ourselves the question, how could we monitor hardware that is located remotely? How can we give it support, troubleshooting, or any kind of service in case there's something wrong with it? So we kept asking this question again and again, along with the team, and we got to the solution of a dashboard that can allow us to monitor the status and value of the hardware based on key 5 elements. In this case, the RAM, the CPU, the lead, the network, and the camera. So this is the result that we got so far. So we got a dashboard, and we have on the left an example of what would be the hierarchy of the different elements that the company is going to use. In this case, we have a distributor. Inside the distributor, we have an EPS. In our case, that's a health provider. And then we have hospitals, and then the devices that we're monitoring. So in this case, we get information from a backup database, and then we just renderizing it on the panel. So as you can see, we have the status and the value on the panel. And these are the elements that we're monitoring. This is the case where you can reboot the service, specifically in this case, the LED service. So we have this message on top, and then we just refresh the page, and then we just keep going. In case we click on one of those devices and we have no information at all, we have a message on top, and the panel just empty. So this is an example of a problem. So we have to just click on the BNC button, then we get to another application, which is just to control remotely. So we have to type the host, the port, and the password of the machine that is presenting some trouble. In this case, once we are in the machine, we can start just looking for the problems that we have, and just by typing one of 2 commands on the terminal, we can start just watching some specifications. And once we are done, like watching how is the CPU, the RAM, the graphics, the storage, or any other type of information that we may need, we can just decide what is the problem that the device has and just give some troubleshooting. Well, once the problem has been solved, we just have to disconnect. In this case, we have used this architecture, which is a client-server architecture. So we're getting information from an external API. Then that information, we are interacting with the database through this API over here. And then we through the client, we are consuming that information. Then we have the option to click to go to the other application, which is the BNC application, to give remote control. And this is the stack that we use for our project. So just M, that stands for MongoDB on the database, E Express on the API server, R for React on the front, and Node.js for the backend side or service side. Just in general terms, these are some takeaways for us on this project, which we can just summarize it as just the ability to adapt to a lot of change. Yeah, we have to learn a lot of stuff from scratch that we didn't know before. And we have to work on the pretty much a good amount of pressure because changes of the company and all that. So this was a good opportunity for us to demonstrate kind of like ourselves that we are able to apply our knowledge and even apply our skills to get different things for the company. And just to finish, this is Babel Solutions. So on the front end, we have Tania Diaz and Daniel Novoa. They were in charge of just making the client side just look good and just consume properly the data from the database. And on the back end, we are Alejo Aragon and myself, Edwin Gaviria. So we were in charge of just developing the database models and the API server and all the pre-processing of the data before the client can consume it. So I'm very glad to hear any questions, comments, and opinions from you. And thank you very much for your time and attention.
All right, wonderful. I was on time, Edwin, and very thorough. Please double check your video. It got stuck towards the end, but we could see your screen properly. Any comments from the jury?
Okay.
Any feedback? All right, if there's no feedback, you can always.
I have one. I have just one question.
Daniel, please.
Yes, if I can just have one question. I would like to understand from where you guys, what was the process to select this issue to attack? What was the initial thought that you guys had to decide attack the problem of monitor issues with the infrastructure remotely?
Great. Thank you for your question. Well, the company which we work with, they have a client, right? So the client is basically health institution. So that health institution has a hierarchy similar to the one that I showed you on the video, just that we don't have the permission to show the exact names, but the hierarchy is exactly the same. It's just similar. So the problem is basically that those devices were presenting a lot of trouble and inconvenience at the moment to take some tests to the patients. So they needed to solve that problem by monitoring all the time how the devices were working. So that was the main issue that we got at the beginning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have two quick questions. So if we take the example of RAM as one of the stats that was reported on, it wasn't clear to me, is that reporting on how much RAM the machine has, or was it reporting on the current RAM utilization? Does it allow you to try and free up any RAM by clicking a button, for example? And I'd be interested in hearing what is maybe one of the most common use cases of a problem that you can resolve via this system.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your question. Well, just going from the point that this is a simulation of a real issue. So we have the case where in the machine, there's a software installed, and then that software depends on some things about, for example, in this case that you mentioned, the RAM, right? So with this software, we can monitor from that device exactly how much RAM it needs. So this percentage in this case would tell us, for example, if the RAM is not sufficient or enough for what the hardware needs, or if something is going wrong. So in that case, we have to get in the machine remotely and see if we need to, for example, replace the RAM, or we need to, incorporate a little bit more capacity in that sense. So that's basically what the program tells us. It's all about what the hardware itself needs. Yeah, in terms of that, it tells us that RAM is not enough. Yeah, that's the percentage.
All right, thanks for asking, Chris, Daniel.
Thank you, Alan.
Chris, Alan again. We'll move on with Cali. We have the umbrella team. Thank you, Edwin. Congratulations to you and your team. We'll move now with Francisco Ramirez from umbrella team from Cali. Welcome, Francisco. Please, guys, make sure that your camera is working. It's important that we can see your screen and that we can see you as well throughout the presentation and the conversation. Meanwhile, until the next team is ready, please take a couple minutes, dear jury, to fill in the form for Edwin's team. Thank you. And if there are any questions about the rubric, please let me know via chat. All right, then we'll have a few minutes also with Hernando. Hernando, welcome to the space. Hernando is our executive director, and he is joining us now from Miami, I guess. Hernando, welcome.
Actually, I am in Bogota today.
All right.
Normally, I am in Miami, but today I came to visit all the great holbies in Bogota, and I hope to visit Medellin next week.
That's great. Thank you, Hernando, for joining us. We have wonderful companies from all over the place today with us. Let's move on then. Let's move on with Cali. I think we're ready. After you have filled in either your rubric, you will get the chance also to score the next team, okay? Welcome, Francisco. We are missing 2 jury, however. If there are 2 people that are having problems, please let us know. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. So I will share my screen. Okay, so in clinics and hospitals, the 35% of the medicines prescribed to patients are antibiotics, and many of the doctors who prescribe them ignore the side effects that they can affect to a patient. So for this reason, together with SIOS, a company that provides technological solutions to the health sector, we developed a tool that allows to the health personnel not only to prescribe antibiotics in the right way, but also to avoid unnecessary expenses by recommending the exact amount of a dose of a patient can need. So the doctors are not pharmacists, and this creates a huge gap because their main role is to diagnose and not to prescribe an ideal dose for an antibiotic. So this can generate side effects like may go from a headache that it is a little bit simple to, for example, the death. And this is crazy. So, but why I'm telling this to all of you? Let's take a look at the following quote. From misdiagnosis to the use of incorrect prescriptions, the World Health Organization is alarmed by the fact that 138 million of patients are on the edge of dying each year. It's a really high figure if we think about it. So, in order to reduce the numbers mentioned above, our team has developed a web application that provides a quick and intuitive solution to this problem. Let's take a look, please.
Hi, I'm Dr. Matti, and today I'm going to prescribe an antibiotic to a patient. I need to fill this information, for example, weight, age, creatinine, and if it's a man or a woman. click on calculate, and this is information to know better the patient status. All I have to do is select the antibiotic, and that's all. Thank you.
So as you can see on the screen, we have here an example of a dose that the Dr. Matthew has prescribed to a patient. But this is not the only module that we have, because we have also this section that is where occurs all the general management of antibiotics. So this part is for an authorized user. Yes, it's an authorized user like an admin, who in this case, the admin is the pharmaceutical chemist, because the pharmaceutical chemist knows how to prescribe an ideal dose, not the doctor. So he can enter here and create, update, or delete some antibiotic. Also, we have the vancomycin module. This module is our STAR section. Yes, is the section that provides a different the software. Yes, and here we take the same 4 parameters that the previous module of antibiotics, but in this case, we have a difference that is we take more 4 parameters in addition, because the vancomycin is another antibiotic. We need to understand it, but it can affect negatively the kidney, and it requires a special treatment, right? So here, in this form, the doctor can enter and modify the dose that he considers is correct for gifts to a patient. And in real time, we have these 2 tables, and also we have this chart that will be updating over and over again that the doctor modify the data. So the idea is this table have this range that are in gray color, and only when these lines are in the between of it is an ideal dose for this antibiotic. As a team, for achieve the you have seen on the screen, we have to overcome many obstacles. So the first was to understand what the company wants to develop, because they only have the idea. So we need to understand it and then build totally from scratch the project requirements, the style, the guides, the design, all. And also another problem that we faced was that we didn't have an idea about which technologies to use for the development. So in that case, we remind ourselves that in this career, it's important to keep learning and keep improving our programming skills. And we decide to face new challenges using technologies that are totally new for each individual in the group. So in this way, we made about MERN stack. So in MERN stack for the project, we have in the front end, React and Tailwind CSS, Node.js, plus Express, in the backend, and the database is in MongoDB. And for the DevOps, we have pages in the front end, and in the backend, Microsoft Azure. And all of this is connected with GitHub Actions for continuous deployment. And this is our team. We have Johan Perlaza and Andres Ocaña as backend developers, and Mateo Lopez with the person who is talking to all of you, Francisco Ramirez as front-end developers. As a team, we are proud about we developed in a such short time, and to be able today to demonstrate that we are a good company, a good alternative for any company. Thanks a lot to all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to the Umbrella team led by Francisco Ramirez. And before we go into the feedback from our jury, I see that Christian already has his hand up. Just remind people that are watching through Facebook Live and our jury as well, and well, everyone that is part of this community, that the focus of this demo day is software development. Even though these are sort of pitches, the participants are not pitching a company per se, or the intent to create a company or a startup, but they're pitching their ideas. Moreover, they have also developed this in just 1 month. They have been working together with companies in the industry. And I'm also so happy to see that your English is really, really good, guys. For many of you that started with no English at all. So 9 months ago, many of you did not speak English at all, and now you are presenting in English and you're being super eloquent. The focus of our program is to learn by doing and to learn on the go and on project based. So that's the way we do things, and it's important to consider that for our juries and for the people that are looking that are watching, this demo day. Christian, please go ahead with your feedback. Thank you.
The application is looking good. They have a congratulations umbrella team. I have a question about feedback. What was the scientific basics to find the calculation algorithm for the calculation? Because remember, there are lives involved in your project. That's my question.
Okay.
So this is based on an investigation of a pharmaceutical chemist. Yes, it have her project or grade. Yes, and it have investigating the formula of the books and taking all of this. So we have the application on a Excel, but Excel is not like more interactive. So it needs to migrate all the information for a software, and our team has developed the web application. So the formulas is max formulas, yes, with some operations like sums or rest, right? And it's based on that investigation.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'm always with question, right? But I have a question, a quick one. Why did you guys thought about antibiotics only? Any particular reason?
No, it's just for the MVP, because in the future we think to implement more modules in this project, more modules.
Thanks.
So for the MVP is only focus on antibiotics.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. We do appreciate you being inquisitive about the whys and the hows. So thank you, and thank you, Umbrella team. Good job, and you've made it. Congrats. We will have few minutes also, so it's just a little moment for the jury to complete the rubric for this team. Were there any other pending questions, perhaps?
I have a couple of questions. Sorry for the interruption. The first is this project sponsored or in connection with a company, or this was your idea? I came late and I'm not sure that I got that information. And second, from the technical perspective, from the software technical, what was the biggest challenge that you faced completing this project?
So as mentioned, the most difficult problem was first understand what the company wants to develop, because it's a company, but they only have the idea and no more. Yes, so we had to build totally from scratch the project, the requirements, the design, the style, because they don't have any idea of what technologies to use or something like that. So in that process of make totally from scratch the project, we take around 1 week. So was a week that we can do the project, yes, the code, not the project requirements or another things. And also the technology, technologies that are totally new for everyone in the group, but we focus in the learning interest of each individual. Yes, if for example Johan and Andres really likes the backend, so it's an opportunity to improve our skills in this section. Yes, and Mateo and me likes the front end, so also is a good opportunity to improve our skills.
Thank you, Francisco. That's a great point. The capstone project for the Holberton participants is a great opportunity to deepen their knowledge on a specific topic they may like or a new technology they may be interested in learning. I'm happy you managed to do that, Francisco, and congrats once again to the Umbrella team. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right, we will move on with our next team now, and we are double checking only if all the jury managed to fill in the rubric. We are missing just one jury. Please, if we can get that done, and we will start with the next team. Thank you so much. All right, the next team that is joining us is coming from Bogota, but the presenter is Maria Paz Quirola, who is actually from Ecuador, also based out of Quito. The name of the team is We Blend, and we welcome you, Maria Paz, in charge.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. I'm from Ecuador, Quito. Yes, actually, we're working with also with Bogota, and Laura is part of the team. She's from Bogota, and Joshua is part of Quito too. Is part of the team too. So I'm going to share my screen.
Thank you, Paz. We can see you and we can hear you very well. Go ahead.
Perfect. So, hi, this is Mehdi. He's from Morocco. And we found each other on a dating app, and I was pretty amazed about his beauty. He's really good looking guy, right? So we started chatting a lot and talking, and he told me that he was married, he has a kid, and he is actually living in Ecuador, in Quito. He's working there. So I got shocked. At first of all, I got shocked and I got pretty mad. And so I talked to him and he told me that the applications of dating apps are not working really well in friends feature. So there was nobody there and he just wanted to go out and take a cup of coffee. So we created We Blend and start blending cultures. This is a mobile web application. It has a responsible design and is interest-based. It means that there is a huge pool of interest that you can choose from. Also, there's a matching percentage that it means that you can match a person or a community based on your interest. Also, we are focused on immigrants, and this is a social media. So you can chat in this application and also even can go to events together. These are some of the mock-ups that we have designed for our application. The most important part, the interests, personalities are also important for this application, and matching communities. You can type your community or the application is going to give you the perfect fits for you, depending on your interest. So there's the part of the dog, the rock, or the beer, even you want that. So about the development. So in DevOps, we use GitHub, Kubernetes, and Lambda. In the backend, we use MongoDB, Node.js, and Express. And in the front end, we use React and Tailwind CSS. What were the most challenging things that we've been through in this project? We had to learn a lot because we choose new coding languages. And also it has helped us a lot because we have worked with an agile mindset. This philosophy is really important nowadays, and we have to get through this. And starting using Jira. And other surprising takeaway we had, it was like we define our future as a developers, and we start like thinking about what we were going to do in the future. Some of us took some specialization like machine learning, and other of us are going to take front end. So this is the screen of our web application. You can scan it and get to browse it in your computers or in your phones. And this is the demo. So you can get in with Google, log in. Then you're going to, this works with geolocalization. also, and this is their interest. You can type it or you can search it by scrolling down. So it's really important, this part. And also you can upload your pictures, the most important picture you have or the picture you want to upload. So is, you know, the more the better, you know, when you're using your pictures while you want to match with a community or with people. So this part is the part that you put the birthday, your birthday date. And here is a discover. This person is there for the important part of here is that you have the percentage of a like that you have based on your interest and also in your personality. And the most important part, the community part, that is perfect fit for you, and you can also search it. So we are now the team. It's a really important part of our presentation. Laura Martinez is the backend developer. You can see her the LinkedIn here and the GitHub. Joshua Lopez is the full stack developer. And he also knows a lot of DevOps, and the LinkedIn here. And myself, Maria Paz Quirola, I'm in the front end. I am a front-end developer and also a UX UI designer. And you can watch my LinkedIn. We are open to questions if you have some of them. Happy to answer.
Congrats, Paz. Happy to have talent from Ecuador mixed with Bogota. You have definitely presented a sort of platform that we have seen in the past, very similar things. So I'm sure there are many questions from our jury. Jairo, please.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a question from the technical perspective. I would like to know if how you build the algorithm to get this percentage of like matching, because it's an interesting number, like you have 14 something. So how you create this algorithm?
Yes, it was actually well, the backend we did. It was really important. It is not artificial intelligence right now, but we are going to focus on artificial intelligence in the future. This is just based on the interest we had like in our profiles, and it's going to compare it with the other person that have chosen the same interest as well. So this is going to give you a name, a percentage, and then there we're going to just put it in the screen to show this this important number.
Wonderful. Definitely important calculation to do in the future so you can really differentiate yourself from others, right? Daniel, please. Thank you. Daniel, you're on mute.
Sorry. I would just wanna ask to Maria, what do you guys believe that differentiate your solution to, for example, the most usual ones that we have in the market, like Tinder, Facebook, or any Instagram or anything like that?
Yes, the most important feature in our application is that we can match a community besides one person. It's like you can have your interest in your communities, and you're going to be able to match these kind of communities that are going to be perfect fit for you. So this is a huge difference, because when you have Bumble or you have Tinder, almost nobody is like there for a friendship goal. They have like they want a date. And we, in this application, we want to focus in friendship, in a community.
Good, thanks.
All right, thank you. And we have Christian as well.
Yes, hi, Mario Paz.
Hi.
First, I congratulations for you. It's very interesting your application. I have a little feedback. Many people don't fully know their personality, right? It's created a problem. Exist a test, exists a quiz for determine the personality of the person. Because the tests have a question like what you think when what you speak. You understand?
Yes, it's amazing what you are saying. It's like a huge idea that that can be
exactly.
implemented.
That's this feature can improve the match with the person, right?
Yes, actually, it's a really huge and an amazing idea, and thanks for that. It's really good. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think also Christian's feedback is pointing out the fact that sometimes we assume that people know the things they like, right? And in developing technology, it's important not to assume too many things, right? And to try to get rid of those biases. Thank you, Christian, and thank you also for the others for your feedback. If we haven't heard from other juries speak, don't worry, we still have 3 more projects ahead. And please make sure that we fill in the form for this and the previous team for all of the 6 members that are joining us today from different companies. Thank you, Maria Paz.
Thank you a lot. Bye bye.
We will move on now with our next team from Medellin. The team is led by Leonardo Berrio, but all 4 people will be presenting. The name of the team is Epiphany 73/1. And welcome, Leonardo, and the rest of the team, Santiago, Mateo, and Juan Manuel. The floor is yours. Until you set up the screen, just one last reminder for our jury to fill in the form so we can keep on scoring the next teams. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. So throughout history, video games have only considered or limited the potential of the main character's companions. Nowadays, just a few of those video games have actually considered the different functionalities that this little friend may have to offer. That is happening with Ether Epiphany. I'm Leonardo, and with my teammates, Juan, Mateo, and Santiago, we want to introduce to our video game. Ether Epiphany is a 2D Metroidvania that has taken into account a lot in the importance and the relevance to our gameplay, well, the companion of this main character, to give a more important, and that's a lot process. And actually for me, it's great to have all of you here, and I'm so excited for this. So I want to go back and say that a lot of video games have only considered this little companion just a floating friend that is going around. But we have the importance and the relevance of this with meme.
All right, Leonardo, take a deep breath. I saw your presentation this morning. You were very eloquent. Yes. And I know you're excited for this. Now we can see you again. So let's continue.
Thank you so much for this. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Let's start. As I was saying, Ether Epiphany is a 2D Metroidvania that has taken into account the importance and the different ways to improve our players' experience, giving functionalities and relevance to our main character's companion meme is to ensure that not only the player is usable, as meme needs to solve puzzles, it could be able to improve the skills and even use their abilities to continue the journey. As the game develops its story, meme has a lot of relevance in discovering the past behind the main character. And that's where this duo is so important, because we are not going to only control 73 as the main character, but also their companion. The creative process was long and came along with great results. Santiago will explain a little more about it.
Okay, so in order to have more clarity about the main characters of the game, I will give you a brief introduction of who they are. As a main character, we have a 73, exemplary soldier created from different human parts. Very loyal to the shaman, and she's a little distrustful. His purpose is to be the best soldier ever. As a main character, we have a meme. Sorry. Okay. As a common character, we have a meme, a guardian spirit of the forest, the only one who has managed to escape the attacks of the shaman. Meme has an attack ability, becoming a sword that destroys the enemies. And lastly, we have the enemies. Corrupted forest spirit, unable to think, reason, or remember things, with the purpose of harming anyone who is against the shaman's plan. Now, Juan will go to talk about the architecture of the game.
Assembling the architecture of the game, we can start with the principal graphic engine that we're mainly using for this project, Unity. Unity is an easy and interactive visual interface and that have an advantage of object-oriented language, C#, that make it one of the most used graphic engines in the market. Also, Unity has some tools like Plastic, that is the version controller that we are using for this project. Clip Studio and Toon, the responsible software of our designs. Now, Mateo is going to talk about the main challenge.
At the beginning, we had many ideas on the table. Make many weapons, many enemies, have several mechanics for the main character. But when we saw that we didn't have much time left, we had to be more realistic and have a finished project according to a given time. We had to learn C# to be able to make the game. The problem was not the logic because we already had that, but rather the keywords and many functions that it offered us to program our game. In addition to learning that language, we also had to learn to use programs and tools such as Unity, Plastic SCM, that help us all to manage two versions and send each other files. At first, it seemed difficult, but it was a tool that helped us a lot to transfer files, behavior files, that on other platforms were not allowed. Like for example, GitHub, token log type to upload the files. And thanks to we found this tool, we were able to advance quickly.
Now we have a little demonstration of the gameplay itself. I wanted to show you that we have a different, thank you. We have different things going on the gameplay. We focus on trying to what is the best thing that we can do for the MVP, and this is what we realized that we needed to focus on the basis of the mechanics: jump, sliding, dashing, running, and attacking. Of course, we have a little companion meme going across the map alongside with the main character, and that's pretty much what we have available.
Okay, and finally we have the team members. As a game artist, we have a Tatiana Valencia and Victor Gomez. As a narrative designer, we have a Joel Baker, and as a design programmers, we have a Juan Manuel, Mateo Acevedo, and myself, Santiago Sorno. And in the part of the game designer, we have Leonardo de Rio. Thank you for attention, and if you have any comment or question, let us know.
Wonderful, guys. Thank you for awesome. All right, then. Mateo's celebrating already, and we have a question from Christian.
Yeah, hi team. Well, it's very impressive. Create a game is not a easy task. My question and my feedback is the game is developed in Unity, right? In what platforms are supported for the game?
No, right now we only have a plan to launch the game with PC. The other, like now, another consoles will need specific contracts or permissions that it could be, talk on later on, but currently only for PC.
Yes, my feedback is the next. The mobile games have the money. maybe touch a point on the mobile games.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and if we're talking about money, Kushki is in the fintech area, and you never know, maybe they will start a video gaming fund in the future. So save this contact, guys. All right. Any other feedback or question? Alan, Flor, we haven't heard you. If you want to ask or deepen into this project, otherwise, please make sure that you fill in the rubric. The name of this game is, the name of this team is Epiphany. Okay, it's Epiphany. Yes, Chris, thank you for joining us. I know your agenda was tight, but it was a pleasure having you with us this morning.
Sorry, I've got a dash, guys, but yeah, very good presentation. Congratulations, everybody, and I'm sure the next presentations will be excellent too.
Thank you, Chris. We'll keep in touch.
Bye, guys.
All right, then. We are moving on. And I agree also with our peers from Kushki that going to video gaming is something complex. So congrats to this team for making something this original. We're moving on now with our next team, and then we will have a final team from Medellin. Okay, so 2 more teams. This upcoming team is from Cali. The name of the team is Exogames Sports and is led by Hector Ordóñez. Hector, welcome and welcome to your team. Remember, jury, please, the previous team was Epiphany, just for the sake of filling in the form and the rubric, okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, hello, good morning, good afternoon. I'm going to share my screen in a second, please. Well, we are a SS team. We worked with Globant in our project. It's called Exogames Sport. So the problem statement. We know that so many people have difficulty when trying to organizing events. So it's a challenge for us. Being able to implement an easy tool to help to the people to can organize many events sporting. So with this problem, Exogames Sport was born. Give me a second. I'm going to show the app. Please tell me if you can see the application. Okay. Well, we have 3 principal views: that the events views, the venues views, and the comparator views. As you can see, we have a little description of the event in this case, the sport, the match, even a date and venue. So if we have a click on, we have more description of each event that I have in the view. Description, sport, the matches, and the data. The same with the venues. We have many places to the venues, and the venue name, description, the same for the competitors. We have the description, the team players, and the sport. So I have a new view. Well, if you don't have an account, you can register in this case, the username, the mail, the password, and repeat the password. We have many verifications of the large, for example, in the characters and the characters that have in the password. So we have a new views when you log in. So we have my events. So that's the events that I create with this user. So as you can see, I can update it, I can delete it, and I can publish. And publish is the view principle that you saw in the past view. Later, I use to log in. So I have my venues. The same. I can use the update and can delete. The same for the competitors. And the competitors, the same. You can update it and delete. So the extra views is the create event. In the create event, you have a form, so you can put a name and description. As you can see, select a sport, and if you want, you can choose an image. And if you don't want an image, we have many image default in the application. So we have the create venue, same. You can show the name, description, and it shows a file you want. And the same for the competitors. Here you can use all the code of the application with the competitors, venues, and events. And let me show you the architecture. Well, we deploy all the code in DigitalOcean. For the backend, I all build it in Node.js, Express, and JWT for the authentication. We used to MySQL with our ORM. In this case, we use SQLite. For the image management, we used to S3 for Amazon. And the backend, the front end, used to React, Vue, CSS, and HTML. So to connect the backend and the front end, we use to Axios. And I have a request with HTTPS. So our team, Sebastián Garcia was a full stack developer. Me, the backend developer DevOps, and Johan Blandon was the front end developer. So thank you for your attention, and remember, it's not about having ideas. It is about making them come true.
That was a great punchline. Thank you so much to the entire team, Exogames Sport, and especially to Hector Ordóñez for leading the presentation. We have a question from Pablo already. Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you for the presentation and congratulations. My question is about the problem statement. Have you identified this problem statement in the market in any specific company that organized event, or is something that you had experience with the team in the past?
Hector, did you get the question? Would you like Paolo to repeat? Can you hear us?
We interpreted the problem with Logan. So I just went through the reality, the different solutions that Logan wants to put this project.
Okay. All right. Pablo, was it clear for you? Would you like to go deeper?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe my question was, is the strongest Scottish accent? Huh? No, it's a quite Argentinian and Latin one, actually. No, I was talking about the problem statement. So the idea is to identify a solution of to overcome an existing problem, maybe. And when you present the problem statement about the difficulties to do the match for the events and all the stuff, I was wondering if it's a real problem you identify in some companies, or is something that you imagine that they exist. Let's say, just to be curious about the statement.
Great, thank you, Paulo. Let me jump in, Hector, because it's important for everyone to know that many of the projects that we're looking at today were presented and proposed by other companies. So these may be a problem or a technological challenge that in this case, Globan wanted to solve, right? And in that case, our teams, in this case, the Exogames Sport team, joined this company to solve it. And yeah, that's how the process went. I saw Hernando had his hand up as well. Hernando, did you want to add something?
No, I was going to mention the same. In general, for Holberton and for these projects, these are not necessarily startup pitches. These are more team. It's a pitch from a team that is solving a problem, either a problem that they identify themselves, or it's a problem that somebody else presented to them to get it solved. And what we want to focus is on their ability to take a problem and propose a solution, the technical challenge that they confronted, and how good or how structured is their solution to that problem. Not necessarily it's focusing on business ideas or something that is scalable to be a startup, because it's not from the investor's perspective, it's more from the technical perspective, how they approach a solution to a problem, and how would they present the solution.
So sorry to jump in, just because I guess that I had the same question of Pablo, in the sense of it's not clear for me the problem. That's probably the point here. What is the problem that they were trying to say, that you guys are trying to say? Can you come back just to explore a bit more? What is the problem that you are trying to solve with this solution?
Right, great. Thanks for asking. So guys, how did Globant present to you the problem or the challenge they were having?
I don't know if you know that recently FIFA and Globant have a new relation. So I think that the project maybe will be released to the implementation of the organization of the events. Maybe, for example, the football, basketball, and different events that you can see, that you can mind. Sorry.
All right. So in this case, Globant needed an event organization tool, and that's what you helped them build, right? Because they want to do more team building. Interesting. Thank you, guys. Important feedback for everyone doing pitches, whether they are companies or not. It's important to make it clear what you're trying to build and from what. In some cases, it is a problem. In some others, it is just a client request, right? Thank you, Exogame Sports. You are free to go, and congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Great. And thank you, Daniel and Paulo, for your questions. We would love to hear Flor, and also again from our friends from Kushki, Jairo and Christian. And we have one last team to give feedback, all right? Thanks for sticking with us. We will close this session at 1 p.m. sharp. And our last team from Cohort 17 is Medellin. Medellin worked with the Ecuadorian company Kin Analytics, and the name of the team is...
Everyone. We want to check because Santiago is the one who is gonna present the slides, but he cannot.
Manu, don't worry. Asegúrate de cerrar otro micrófono, hay dos micrófonos abiertos al mismo tiempo. Gracias. All right. Okay, we have Manu and Santiago Bedoya. As I was saying, they work with the company Kin Analytics, and the name of this team is Kin Analytics. So welcome, guys. This is our last team from Medellin, and with this team, the demo day for Cohort 17 for Holberton, Colombia, and Ecuador is over. Thank you, our friends from companies that have joined us today, and we would like to remind you to please fill in the rubric, fill in the form, so we can have the scores for each of the teams. All right? Without much more further ado, Santi Bedoya, please be our guest.
As a project manager, you create a Trello board to keep everything so organized. To track the responsibilities, your coworkers must complete for a certain project. Surely, this will not be your only project, so you have to create another Trello board, and so on for all the projects that are under your supervision. all of a sudden you will end up with a bunch of Trello boards. And to make the things even more complicated, in Trello, you cannot perform operations and you cannot store information in a structured way. So you have to create an Excel or a Google Sheet to keep track of the financial, for example, or other data that is more related to numbers. A total mess. Fortunately for you, we have developed Control Dashboard, a powerful web application feature that allows you to gather all the relevant information just in one place. With this tool, you will have a better sense of what's going on the different projects. You will see the big picture. Control Dashboard, it's about fewer tools, more value, all in one place.
So forget about wasting more time analyzing crowded but valuable amounts of data, and use Control Dashboard to get an instant overview of all of your project performance indicators, all in one place. Directly integrated with the web application Kin Analytics offered to your business, our Control Dashboard will allow you to visually keep track of your project progress, effortless and accessible. And also, of course, it will let you update your data every time you make a change with your favorite management tools. Use our feature to unify each of your project metrics, like maybe getting the total amount of pending project tasks, or finding out how many bugs haven't been solved, or simply measure your team members' burnout according to their assignments. We are aiming to help project managers identify patterns and make faster decisions. So let's see how it looks.
Once in the platform, we can see or clean up if we don't have an account. When logging in, we see the start page of the Control Dashboard. In the navigation menu of the left, we find the Trello Control Dashboard. Upon entry, we can see information about our Trello board, which allows us to monitor our project in more detail. We can see the tasks that are done and overdue. In the graphic panel, we can see the sum of the weight that the cars had according to their column, the percentage that they represent in the project, and the total sum of the weight of all the cars. On the right, we have the graph that shows us the total hours that has taken to make each car. Under these two graphs, we had complete and delayed information for each car on our board. We have the car name, the board name, car creation date, list or column name to which it belongs at the maximum time executed. Finally, we can see the members of the board and the number of labels assigned to a list or column. We can manage several projects simply with a click. At the top, we find the filters where we can select a board or project, filters carried by previous, next, current, before, on, and when a certain day. We can select a list or column to see specific information about it. If we make change to our Trello board, just click to refresh and get the update information in the Trello Control Dashboard. That is why you should choose to make your job easier.
And developer's job too. Control Dashboard not only facilitates the work for the client. As a developer, the work will be also easier thanks to the MVC architecture. Model Controller Viewer allows you to do whatever you want in code without having to change the entire project structure. Now let's see the stack. For the client side, we work with React as UI framework and Tailwind as CSS framework. We use Node to create the necessary tools in our application and Express as a framework node. We decided to use Postgres as database and Kenex as ORM. Among others, we use Mailgun as a mail service and Stripe as a billing service. For security issues, we use Helmet as header authenticator and Passport as user authenticator. My name is John Anderson Roa. I work as a backend developer, and together with my team, Miguel Marquez as frontend developer, Santiago Bedoya as backend developer, and Manuel Espinosa as backend developer, we thank you for listening to us.
Okay, great. That was a wrap up of. There's some interference, guys, with your mic. We need just one mic, please. Great. All right, then. So congratulations to the team that worked with Kin Analytics, Santiago, John and Miguel. Would like to know if we have a few last comments from our jury, and we have Christian already. Thank you, Christian, for your participation.
Hi guys. Congratulations, guys. The project looks very professional. The testing, the interface, the controllers, the project is very well done. Only to understand your main problem you try to solve. This is a project to have a very powerful dashboard for Trello, only for Trello, or more inputs. In the first slide, I see Excel, Google Drive, but in the demo is only for Trello, right?
Thank you, Christian. No, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so for the demo, we have Trello only integrated, but the idea was to integrate also other tools, like for example, Smartsheet, but we have a little problem with the API and with the access permissions. And so we couldn't solve that on time, but the idea will be have like the Smartsheet projects or the Excel projects all in the same place.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Christian. This was once again something that the company asked for. So it's an internal problem that they're having, or an internal need or want that they're trying to develop, right? Before we go, just double checking if there are any other comments from the jury. Otherwise, I would like our jury to give a last few words about your participation, how the experience was, if you want to remind us which company you come from, and just a quick wrap up or a note for our talent, given that they are starting now their professional future. Remember, all of the talent that you have seen today are people that were just simply interested in software development before. The great majority of them did not have much English skills before or non-existent software development skills. So this is what they have achieved after a program in 9 months. And many of them worked with companies, others developed their own ideas. And those that were presenting today were presenting after they went through a filter in the morning. So these were the best presentations from all of Cohort 17. So congratulations to the teams that presented in the national scenario, but also to all of the others that presented in the morning. Congratulations for all your effort, and we really do wish you all the best of luck. And that's all on my end. Just wondering if there are any of the people from the companies would like to say something. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like, Juancho, thank you very much. All the presentation has been very good, and the slide that many of you actually use were actually quite attractive. I like also the presentation that the whole team actually presented a part of the project that actually showed the teamwork and very creative. And also I'm amazed about the short time that you guys had to create the solution to go and try to find a problem statement. So congratulations. And I also was amazed about what you say, Juancho, about the English skill, because I always think that I have a lot of opportunities myself to continue improving my English, and I learned it from when I was a little old. And to do that in that short time in a country that is not English speaking country is actually amazing. So congratulations, you have a good future ahead, and I'm very glad to participate in this event today. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you, Pablo. Absolutely exciting to have you and Daniel here this morning and to give us a little bit of your time. Flor, Christian from Kushki, or Daniel, please.
So just to say thank you very much as well, and to congratulate all you guys. Great job. It was I'm very well impressed with the job that you guys presented here. And I hope to see your face and in the technology market soon. I'm sure that you guys will have a brilliant career ahead, and we are here in Talent as well, expecting to have great talents as you guys are. So count on us as well. It was a pleasure to meet all of you.
Thank you, Daniel. We really do appreciate. Flor, desde la vivienda, algunas palabras. Mucho de nuestro talento se ha vinculado a Grupo Bolívar. Gracias por juntarte esta mañana.
Gracias por la invitación. Sí, vemos que hay mucho talento. Personas que quieren crear cosas nuevas. El tema, la innovación en el Grupo Bolívar es muy, muy importante. Y vemos que están surgiendo muchas personas que quieren crear cosas diferentes. Qué bueno. Gracias por la invitación. Muy interesantes todos los proyectos. Se ve todo el esfuerzo que hicieron y el tiempo que dedicaron. Muchas gracias. Muy interesante.
Gracias a ti, Flor. Un gusto tenerte acá. And last but not least, we also have our friends from Kushki, Jairo and Christian. Thank you for giving us your time this morning as well. And maybe a last few words.
Yes, well, Juancho, it was a pleasure to see all the projects. For you guys, the best wishes on this path of the technological success.
Thank you, Christian. You guys, all of you are examples for our holbies to follow. So in the name of our holbies, super excited to have you here. Jairo, did you want to say something as well?
Yeah, not only to highlight the English level of all the participants, it's super amazing, like how our talent could export to other cultures like the US or Europe, just only to speak in English, because in the past our talent was hidden by that, but now it's amazing. Like all the participants speak a very English level, so that's good.
All right, so last message from the companies, guys, do not forget how important English is, okay? Pablo has also said it, and that's why this space is in English. Hernando would also like to give a last few words, but please, don't leave us. We're just going to take, no?
Okay.
All right, I was just going to say that don't leave us. We're just going to take a couple more minutes, announce the winners, and then everyone's free to go for lunch. Hernando.
No, just say to thank you all the companies that the jurors that are here helping these amazing holbies to get feedback and to prepare for their professional career. And congratulations to all the holbies from Cohort 17. We are very proud of all the hard work and the good project that you have developed. And I'm very glad and excited to see all this good work today. Thank you.
Thank you, Hernando. I would also like to thank all the staff that made this possible, the people in the backstage, and the technical teams, the talent coordinators, right? We have a group of 15 holbies joining the labor market today. Well, the job hunt, to be more precise, and very soon the labor market. It's 50 holbies that are joining the career development program with me, and 16 teams that have participated today since the day began. And we have 2 winners for the second place. We have the team We Blend. Congratulations to We Blend for the second position from the demo day pitch competition. And the first team, redoble tambores, tenemos a Kin Analytics. Congratulations to Kin for all your hard work. This was definitely proof of also something that Pablo mentioned, that is teamwork, okay? Remember, working in this industry is not about doing it all on your own. It's really and definitely all about teamwork. So thanks for leaving us that moraleja. Sorry, couldn't find the word in English. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Thank you to the jury. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again in 3 or 4 months with our next cohort. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.